Arsenal fans, as we all know, the war against referees continue. While we are losing the war, today we've won a battle. And what I'm directly referring to is apparently it's been confirmed the FA have upheld a claim of wrongful dismissal in relation to Miles Lewis Skelly against Wolves and have removed his 3-match suspension. Pressure. Like I said, the war keeps going on. We know we're not ref the same way. We know Arsenal fans have this victim mindset. But what you're not going to do is gaslight us. What you're not going to do is make us think that Lewis Skelly deserved to be sent off. It's a yellow card. There's inconsistencies in almost every Premier League game of all clubs, and in that game specifically. I'm seeing images on the TV. They're slowing it down. They're manipulating the angles. Make sure you are as loud in your apologies about our claims as you were in your disrespect. Anywho, people. And again, disclaimer, all this Michael Oliver, abuse that he's apparently receiving, every human being, any decent human being, which if you're rocking with me, you defo are, doesn't condone that. We condemn that. But incompetency. I am not one of those Arsenal fans that does the woe is me thing. What I do feel is we are, to a slight degree, judged a lot harsher. You look at Declan Rice's and Trossard sending off earlier this season. Fair play. I think they are, delaying the restart. Cool. It is what it is. Harsh doesn't mean it's wrong. But if that is the case, somebody's going to be sent off every week. And I haven't seen that. Obviously, people. It's ridiculous. It's been quite eventful. It's been an eventful season so far for Lewis Skelly. What an introduction. A man was given a yellow card for he came on the pitch, batted up Haaland, rattled the Spurs fans, just doing his thing. I can't wait till this man scores a goal, people. And welcome to Arsenal, Lewis Skelly, man. Welcome. The FA have provided a statement. Apparently, the Football Association have released the following statement. Cut the track. Apparently, I could be wrong on this, but I saw on social media, Michael Oliver was scheduled to referee Arsenal Man City. Banter, innit? Forget the game we just played at the Etihad. Remember the game at the Emirates. But anyway, sticking on task. Who's doing that? Why are you swearing at the FA? Anyways, an independent regulatory commission has upheld a claim of wrongful dismissal in relation to Miles Lewis Skelly and removed his 3-match suspension. As we know, he was sent off against Wolves, so now he's eligible to continue his Premier League career, man, and whatnot. Bad up my man. That's why you got the death stare. Don't come round here, man. Don't come round here. Off topic, people. I wasn't planning on discussing this, but Mikel Arteta has given an interview and he has said in Arsenal, again, I think he means at Google Translate and whatnot, but in Arsenal, it is non-negotiable to aspire to win big titles, and it's costing us. Ultimately, you live and die by the high expectations, people. Obviously, Arteta's been here for 5 years. I'm just trying to get to the main meat, pause, definitely not, of the article. 5 years already in Arsenal. Where in the process are you now? And what level of titles are you asking for right now? Bloody hell, I'm tired of hearing about processes. In this club, it is non-negotiable to aspire to win big titles. With the stability that the team is showing at the performance level, in other normal circumstances, we would be with some big titles in our hands. But the reality is that no. So we are missing something. And it is where you have to look for that margin to be able to do what we are all wanting, which is to take one more jump and win the big titles. I'm not going to lie, Arteta, you and everyone at the club, we talk a lot about margins. And I know you're trying and all these things, but I need to see results, man. We've been patient and I'm not doing all of that, but it is what it is, people. Then he went on to say, for me, a lot, because how it will change. In the end, the contexts we are going to face in this league are totally different every 3 days. My obsession is to win in any context, master each phase of the game, each context, and make the team comfortable in that, because there are times when the rival leads you into chaos, true. In the end, having resource for everything, that's my obsession. Give players tools to make them feel comfortable, and obviously have a very clear idea of what we want to do, which is to subdue and dominate the opponent in every area as long as possible, and never be satisfied regardless of winning by 1, 2, or 3 goals. That is the team's mindset. I agree with that. People say I'm quite harsh on the team when I am of the same thinking, not the same thinking as Arteta, but that's how I think you need to govern your life. When things are going wrong, don't think you're as bad as it is. When things are going great, aspire. Don't get excited because you got 90 odd goals and this one scored X amount of goals. How can we improve it? I know football's an emotional game. When we win, best team on the planet. When we lose, worst team on the planet. It is what it is in that regards, people. I think he then went on to go and speak about Manchester City and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not going to waste you lot's time with that. And also piggybanking off that, you know me, I love my football club. So I was reading Saliba's little article on growing up and all of these kind of things, people. The last thing, and Saliba's never hidden his ambition out of all the players of winning trophies. He has said, it's been a long journey and I'm very proud of myself, but I want to achieve more. Everything is going well, but the only thing missing is lifting major trophies. This is how people remember you even 20 years later. We're playing well and the team is great, but we just need to lift a few trophies at the end of the season. I don't know for a few. You're technically, at least for just over a week, in the League Cup. The FA Cup's done. I would love to win a Premier League and a Champions League. The Prem, for me, is improbable. But don't believe me. Go out there and believe you can, as long as it's mathematically still on. I think we've literally got a chance in the Champions League, but by default, we're still in it. But that's a big test, which comes down to fine margins. And the League Cup, we're all praying and hoping for a comeback. Who knows? Maybe the treble's on, people. Now, on a serious note, I think he's bang on the money. And William Saliba, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Magalhaes, their contracts are running down. You lot know me. I'm a big fan of Mathys Tel. We've been linked throughout January with Vlahovic, Cunha, Ferguson, this one, that one, and the third. Chelsea have probably been the name consistently linked with Mathys Tel. Apparently, he has decided to leave Bayern Munich in January. Bayern and the player side will assess all options on the market, says Romano. Chelsea asked for Tel at the beginning of January, but there are more clubs also keen. The race is open. Brother, Chelsea got more money and more players than sense. Look at what they're doing. Go ask your French brethren about Nkunku. Arsenal, you know what the rich history we have with France. You telling me you can't play on that left-hand side ahead of whoever's over there? Long term, I think you're a number 9. Come to the red side, my bro. Come to the red side. Company, come chat to us, man. Apparently, after 3 games in a row with no minutes, Tel has decided to prioritize his development and leave Bayern. I can't begrudge him for leaving Rennes, which has the records there for the players they bring through. Doué, Camavinga, Tel. We all saw him in the Under-17s World Cup. Ousmane Dembele, Camavinga, if I didn't say that, and the list goes on. It's difficult. Apparently Marseille have inquired. Marseille are being linked with a lot of strikers owing to De Zerbi's preference to go and get that, and they sold Wahi. He's been aggressively linked with Chelsea. I hope we're in there in the realm, people. You could get games, and also you could play up front as well. Apparently, Tel has around 7 loan offers, but also has offers of a permanent transfer. A decision will be made in the coming days. Chelsea remain interested, but it's not guaranteed Tel will go there. Apparently, Mathys Tel is sad because he really wanted to succeed at Bayern. I can't begrudge them for signing Mathys Tel, but that's the reality of being a talented player signing for a club the size of Bayern Munich. In hindsight, probably needed to play some games at Rennes, maybe make the intermediate step to another club, get game time, develop, and then you go to the Bayern Munich, etc., etc. He's going to be a player, people. Apparently, he's very unlikely to go to Marseille. Several Premier League clubs are interested. I hope Arsenal's one of those several, but being interested is not enough. Now, Brendan Rodgers has spoken and more or less confirmed that Kieran Tierney will be a Celtic player. By the way, smash the like button, and we've spoken about a lot of stuff, so I better see some comments at the end of this video, people. He has said, people, well, apparently Tierney will also return. It's actually the next tab. Brendan Rodgers said, ideally, it's happened. It happened now. I think they mean ideally it would happen now, but he's still an Arsenal player. I think everyone has agreed that it will definitely take place in the summer. If we can do it beforehand, then great. Now, I guess for Arsenal, that all depends on how true the Atletico and Borussia Dortmund links with Zinchenko and how easy that will be to get that done. Then Tierney, will probably have to stay. If something happens with Zinchenko, I reckon they let Tierney leave. He's actually a wide option for us at the moment. And I almost had a tear in my eye against Wolves, man. He put one devilish cross into the box. And what I would say, I'm just fully running bants here, but Tierney, like Gareth Bell, you're a left back. Watch some videos, and that right wing spot at Arsenal is free at the moment, people. On a serious note, it's just a shame what we've got to with Tierney. Nepan, I'm tired of hearing about this guy. Big him up, but 1 minute you're joining us, then you're not. It is what it is. But to make sure you lot that have been living under a rock are up to date, Nepan is expected to decide on his future before the transfer deadline. With Nepan having returned to Norway, Arsenal await his decision. Having felt they were well positioned to sign him, they are now hoping they have not been beaten by another suitor, people. Moving away from that, are keeping up the French ties. If Man United can get involved for Ryan Cherky, I don't necessarily think he'll be Arteta's cup of tea. but one can hope. Can we get into the mix for that, people? Moving on, what else have we got? Vlahovic will be looking for another club this summer, according to reports in Italy. Now, we know that. Really and truly, I don't know what I'm talking about, Vlahovic, but we're linked with him 9 times out of 10. I thought I would. The Athletic would have said, and I did cover this in the video earlier, Arsenal's board are prepared to spend if they find a striker who they feel can raise the level of the squad. Pardon me. At the moment, the emphasis is more on a centre forward than a wide player, with Kai Havertz urgently in need of competition and cover. Now, that's interesting because I would have thought a winger, an inside forward, is more achievable than a forward. But if we're targeting one in January, which you're not going to get Isaac, you're not going to get Sesko, as this says here. I don't know where you go beyond that, but it is what it is. You would have seen Heaven as, going and joining the Red Devils, actually. The second Haylender to jump ship and go over them sides. Third, if you include Hubert or goalie. We've been linked today with John Duran. Fabrizio Romano has said we called Aston Villa. That just shows how desperate us Arsenal fans are. Apparently, Ornstein has said that is not a player Arsenal are going for. And he has an 80 million asking price. I'm not sure if that's worth it. As I said, apparently Chelsea have joined Arsenal in inquiring about Duran, people. This is said, we understand Duran, who Aston Villa value at over 100 million, is keen to become a talismanic figure and a regular star elsewhere, having made just 4 Premier League starts under Emre this season, who prefers Ollie Watkins. Damn, 4 starts in January. I could understand it, but why did you sign a new deal then? It is what it is. Once again, we've confirmed Evan has gone over them sides. Who's been offered to us, people? Arsenal have been offered Fiorentina forward Moise Kean, who's doing all right for Fiorentina, but I'm not on it. And Atalanta attacker Ritigi of late. Good finisher, the Atalanta lad, people. Very good player. So, and naturally, we're linked with strikers. It's very easy to link us with anything. Once again, I'm quite bored of speaking about this, but everybody's just relaying the same information. Arsenal will likely have to wait until the summer to land a new forward as they pursue top targets. Mikel Arteta has revealed his team are actively working on a new arrival before February the 3rd deadline, which... Is it just me or is it weird that the market's closed on February the 3rd? I'm sure it hasn't always been like that. It's believed Arsenal will not panic. You need to panic, but there's also no panicking because the guys you want, the Seskos, the Isaacs, the Cunhas, is put up or shut up. And even that might not necessarily get you the player. We're kind of at where we're at with that, man, really. Brighton sources speaking on the condition of anonymity indicate a permanent bid for Ferguson has already been rejected, but the club are open to a permanent exit. Now, Ferguson, his stock has fallen. Someone that's been linked with Arsenal, West Ham, Fulham, this one, that one, Chelsea, even once upon a time. He needs to go somewhere he's going to get regular football. You would imagine he's one of the more if this is true, one of the more achievable, ironic forward targets. And I know some people have the fantasy of, you sign a Ferguson or a Jonathan David, and then in the summer you get, if Sesko's your guy or Isaac, it's probably unrealistic to have 2 new strikers come in, still have Gabriel Jesus on the books, still have Kai Havertz and Trossard who can play up there. You get where I'm going. It'd be nice, though. It'd be nice, people. And it could also be Leverkusen. It seems like Leverkusen are shopping kind of smartly. And, it looks like Boniface is going to go to the Middle East. They could obviously sign Ferguson, provided they, Brighton are difficult people to do business with. He's got a deal until 2029. And people look at him like he's damaged goods. I guess that's the thing when you're 17, 18 and you burst on the scene. If it's not quite continuing like that, 20 years of age, people look at you like you're damaged goods. I mean, I must admit, people, let me know your thoughts, but I'm getting quite a bit nervous now. I hope Arsenal are trying. I don't really care for trying. You need to get something in, but I'm not a fly on the wall at London Coley, but... a lot can change in 24 hours, and there's a couple of days left until the 3rd of February, which ironically is the day after. The deadline's the day after we obviously play Manchester City, but we're cutting it fine, aren't we, people, man? Are you lot confident that we'll sign players or not? Let me know in the comments, man.